Record. All right, good evening, everybody. Fresh week. And I definitely would like to start with ES tonight, looking at futures. Going into this week, I remain one thing, and that's price. I'm not a bull, nor I'm a bear, whether I play the long side the most, but I am neither. I like to play price. I basically like to focus on my levels. My levels are what's important. And if price works with my levels, and that's all that matters. I don't focus on fundamentals. I do not play flow. When I show you things like, for example, if I go to SPY, and we go look at contracts, and we go look at order sizes. Like if, let's say if I get into a position, had zero open interest, and I buy like 50 contracts in that position. Now there's 50 contracts open interest. That's if I do not sell them before. I mean, that's if unless I sell them, then it'll be zero, but it'll be now 50 contracts in that open interest. So when I show you guys like, oh, look at this size on the bid side or the call side, so I see all of that, that is not flow. That's just me taking notice of contract sizes, the sizes that people are going in, that helps me confirm, okay, so they see the same thing I see. Or they already know what's going to happen, so they're already positioning themselves. But the best part is we already positioned ourselves. So I wanted to touch on that topic. Okay, let's get back to ES. I have inverted ES and I have standard ES. This is standard ES. I look at both charts. For those that always been long, they always try to see the long of things as opposed to trading the short side. People are scared of short. I always tell people, invert the chart and you can play it long, but instead playing calls. So I basically broke that down. I mean, I'll do it again tonight on this video as well. So this is a standard ES chart. I'm going to show you the inverse chart as well. If you have Thinkorswim, you can put a minus sign in front of the symbol and that inverts it. For example, as you see here, this is an inverted chart. Levels are always different on an inverted chart as opposed to standard. So here, we want our levels to line up. So I'm going to just let them line up for now. Actually, should put it the other way. It's at the bottom. And it'll be similar to the standard. It'll be like this. So looking at this chart, this is an inverted chart. If you were to go long this chart, you would be buying puts because the chart is inverted, it's upside down. If you were to go short this chart, you would buy calls. So as you guys can see on the inverted chart, you see a potential bear flag here. I'll highlight that for you guys. Bear flags are in channels. They come in channels. They come in flags. They are what they are. They are flags. And as you can see here, we are channeling on ES. This is the one-day chart. This is the daily chart. And if I give you the standard chart, we would be actually flagging from a key support. That is a key resistance on an inverted chart. The key support is the thicker line. Key resistance is the thicker line. So as you can see on this chart, $40.77 is our key support. A couple of things point out to me that keep me level-headed, keeps me not going all the way wanting to be short. I can point out the big picture and I can point out the small picture. So we're gonna start with SPY. Since this ES, I can't go that further back. But I bring SPY in. A lot of people, I understand, we focus on short term, we focus on 1 day, 5 minute, 10-minute charts. I get you guys. But you guys are missing the fact that we are literally still, this is 4 inside days on SPY. And these are 4 inside days that keep holding above 409.37. I drew these extra levels just for my personal reference. So I'm going to show you something. The best charts to look at are usually your weeklies. And I want to show you things. Pullbacks. Repetition. Sometimes we miss things because we overlook it. We're so focused on what everybody else wants to happen, and we get lost in that. But this setup looks very familiar. Much clearer. Okay, so I'm going to highlight. I want to show you guys. Look at this setup here. This is a weekly chart, SPY weekly chart. We basically found a bottom at the lower kelp for now. Here, same pattern, literally same setup, similar setup. Here, inside day followed by an inside up. Here we have the similar pattern. Now, what's important is we are holding our lower kelp. Kelts are very important. Lower kelp for support, middle kelp acts as a support or resistance, depending if price is above or below. Upper kelp, resistance when you're trading from the lower kelp. Upper kelp is always the long-term target. And how you trade that is you always start from the smaller time frames. When you're looking at a big picture, you use a larger time frame. But when you're getting into a trade, you're long or short. What a lot of people have to understand, you need that continuation. Every chart needs to connect. There needs to be continuation from one chart to the next. And a lot of people miss that. So I'm using this week because I just wanted to show you guys what I'm seeing here. These are the type of setups I like. We've done this setup before, but what makes this time different? 14 and 30 SMA. So I'm going to show you something because you guys are probably looking at like, oh, but that same setup is already happened as well up there. It happened similar, something similar, not exactly the exact same setup, but it happened here as well. But what was happening here? What points out is you got your 14 SMA, your 30 SMA crossed down. Usually when that happens, this is what we got, just to focus. But here we already bottoming. We're already bottoming down here. So our SMAs started to space out. They start to span. When they start to span, then they start to stay steady. They start channeling. They start channeling to, they get to a point where they meet again. And when the 14 crosses above the 30 SMA and trending, and the price action is trending to be long, because I don't want to always say bullish, bearish. I guess those are the proper terms or what, but the best term, honestly, to keep it simple, is long or short. So what happened here? We traded under, we vacuumed all the way to the lower kelp, no rejection, stood inside. found rejection at the middle Celt. But what happened? We found some support at our 14 SMA. And then what happened? Price got above the 14 and 30 SMA, and that became support. And what happened? We trended from there all the way to here. From July to April. Now we're doing something similar here. But what happened here? This price already started to break. It already broke down. 14 and 30 SMAs already broke down. And now they're trending. Now what we have here is 14 is going to be your first target. You always buy that SMA a week out. Then you use your middle Celt to buy a week out after that. And then you use your 30 SMA to buy another week out after that. And your upper Celt, you always buy a month plus. Gives you enough time for everything to play out. I'm breaking this down as clear as possible. Why? Because a lot of people miss things. We're so caught up in, the market's going down, this and that, 2000 this, 2000 that. I'm not even showing you 2000 and anything. I'm just showing you Celt. This is not a full extended breakdown. This is not a breakdown at all. Okay, price is not 100% trending down. It's not 100% trending down. People are forgetting 100% trending down was here. This was dropping. Then we had a V-shaped bounce. This, okay, you can say trending down, but not really because it's finding a base. When people target a certain price, we are programmed to do what? Trade around that price, or trade with the intentions that it works out, it gets to that price. But everybody was shooting for 375 or 360s in SPY, correct? We got close to that. And what happened? We didn't break down, we bounced. Back in 2020, similar thing happened here. Everybody was saying we break 220, it's over, we're going down to 180. 150 also. It got close, it broke 220 by 2 points, held it, went inside, then went inside up, and then it kept going up, sideways, and then what? New all-time highs after new all-time highs after new all-time highs. And then we peaked at 478.56. A lot of people forgetting SPY did 100% from there, from that 2020 low, over 100%. You know, we are now at what, 410, 411 now, futures. So 411, and my thing was always focus on the 14 and 30 SMA. 30 SMA has always been a way to trade as well. So it acts as a rejection point, a strong resistance or a strong support, depending on where price is trending. But when you see a big gap in between price, my first instinct is always vacuum. So here, this is a big gap between the lower Celt and the upper Celt. Back then, it was a big gap, but price was not trending inside of the Celts. When price, so think about it like this. This price was just steady. And then they just took it out. The Celts, we were trading so high, so much above the Celts that they started pinching. They started getting very close to where we broke down outside of them. And then what happened? They started channeling sideways. Price found the bottom and continued up. Here, we haven't had a full breakdown outside of the Celts where we are rejecting the Celts on a weekly time frame. Again, we go back, look at the weekly time frame. We broke down on the Celts. Back testing is very important to do. We haven't broke down from the Celts. Last time before that was end of 2018, if I'm this correct. Nope. Yep, end of 2018. We broke outside the Celts and then immediately vacuumed back. If you guys look here, we closed outside the Celt once, and they kept price inside of that Celt. We can be channeling. We can possibly go back up to 450, 460. I mean, I have my places where I see price going. We have a potential inverse head and shoulders. I mean, your full breakdown is below this 375. That level is thick. That level is very important. Max low to 334. Why I say that is that was where we topped out in 2020. And then we broke down until, what is that? Going April, March. End of March going into April. We have a weekly inside candle from last week. People are forgetting that as well. Priced at above 403.41. So I can't be short. I will trade down. I would trade 404 or 405 max, not even 405. I would trade 407. That will be what to trade, 407 puts. Max, my target will be 403.41. And then what I would do from there, once it gets to there, and if it does get to there, 403.41, I'm buying whatever the 14 SMA is 2 weeks out for SPY. Because price is still remaining inside this candle. We can go inside this candle again this week, and a lot of people keep forgetting that. Because everything doesn't always necessarily mean, okay, down, because everybody wants everything to go down. Price is going to do what price is going to do. It's not up to us. We just got to trade around it. So that's SPY. I want to focus on names that we've been doing very well with. Another thing, a lot of people, you do well, step away for the rest of the week. Don't overstay your welcome. Because whatever that payout is that you get, take it and go. The more you stay, the more you lose or you give back. Channel 2. Let me get out of this channel. These are channels. Okay. Here's GT. What got me bullish? Not even, sorry. What made me want to go? How extended the 14 and 30 SMA is. Price trending around 1209. That's when we first started getting into the position. Below that, actually. We took the 12 call. So we bought it prior week, last week, or the week before last, early on. Got it at that somewhat triple bottom, around 1085. We basically bought in between 1085 and 1209. That's where we started building our position. Took 12 calls, took 13 calls. They did very well. Another thing that stands out in this, simple. This is a falling triangle. This could be a falling wedge. It could be a falling channel. We closed above the 14 SMA that is currently trending at 1309. That 1309 is our current support. So if we open up at 1309 on this week, I'm adding calls. And I'm taking calls 2 weeks out, 1465. So that would be 14 calls. We already are in calls. We are in some cores too, 13, 14, and some 16s. Very, very far out. Now, if this 14 SMA can hold, our next target is going to be this middle count, 1465. Prior week, we were trading 1.53 range. That's $1.53. This week was $1.08. We got some rejection around 1327. I can see why. So what I do, I'll draw a horizontal level to see what was going on around that area. As you can see, 1330 right there. That is the price to be above this week. I would like to see us test 1465. Not this week, definitely next week. But I would like us to go in the money for 14s this week. I just like to keep things simple. I tell you why buy to buy time. GT's been trending at the lower Kel. Lower Kel's been very effective with GT until it breaks down from the lower Kel. It stays inside. That 1209 is a strong support. So keep that in mind. And that's a handle. We got a cup and handle going on here as well. Another one. CMG. This one needs time. Has average ranges, daily ranges, 20 points. This one needs time. Mimicking SPY as well. Inside week. I do Fibonacci retracements inside of retracements. And get that out of there. You can see why my target was 1,500 calls later for next month. Or even for end of month. Weekly has a vacuum, the 14 SMA, 1466. You look at history, you see how CMG reacts in the past with Celts, 14 and 30, and it trends below it. It's just things that I see that it's why I don't follow the crowd. People want me to buy puts because they're in puts or because the market's going down. They want me to buy calls because they're in calls because the market's going up. If I did everything that people did, I would always be losing. Because it's not what I see or what I want to trade or what I want to do. It's why I'm always 10 steps ahead. And when I say that is I never confirm something until my levels price tell me, okay, it's time to 100% go short. That's what happened in February 2020. I called the monthly top and we went short. And then I called the low, ending of March. I called it live. And there's a video on YouTube with it. Why? Because it was a significant point to where I was like, okay, that's enough. This is a buy here. Now they're trying to instill so much fear that now it's time to buy. And what happened? Crazy B. This is why I say you remove noise. If you don't remove noise, what happens? You're always going to be distracted. And that's everybody. Everybody's always distracted. Now look at this GT. This is the thing about GT I like too is premiums are cheap, makes it easier to trade long and short. It moves 50 cents in a day, you make 100%. It moves 50 cents on a Friday, you make 200%. It moves $1, you make at least 600 to 1,000% on a Friday if you catch a gap down and then it goes red to green and then green to green. What that means is it goes from being minus 20 cents to plus 1%, no, 1 cent green to 53 cents green. So that's another thing you guys got to pay attention to that as well. Like that's why I like GT. You trade that because you gotta. It's cheap. It's affordable. You can buy in the money and make money 20% a day if you wanted to. If you know how to trade it, you can buy time and make money with GT. It will be a slow process, but why not take that route? Everybody wants to be hand fed everything, but the best teacher is trial and error, and that's the truth. So that's GT for you guys. Clear this up. I look at everything. I look at 4 hours. 4 hours is my thing. I check it 3 times a day. Checking it the first hour. I check it at 1:30. And then I check it when the market's closed. This is another cupping handle. We broke outside the upper Celt, came right back inside the upper Celt and found support again at the 14 SMA. 14 SMA already crossed the 30 SMA. We're trending above 1324, mid-range 1414. Break that, that's breakout. Only thing that gets me is I like that bounce off the 14 SMA, but we need to break outside of this inside candle on the H4. And that's this one here. When price is inside, you only have what? That range to play, nothing else. Usually setups like this on a 4 hour leads to a gap up. Just by candles, looking at the candles. I'll show you right now, I'll give you an example. Depending on where market's at, but I'm gonna show you a few. The ones that you're gonna see right now are actually on a downtrend. This one is actually sideways trending. So for example, here's one right here. So you see this setup, these 2 4 hours, that's 1 day. I don't know if this is 2 4 hours. This one or that's one price. I don't know. This is one here. So it's back 1 2 3 4 4 4 4 4 4. Yeah, this one. This led to a gap down, but the price was still trending down. 14 and 30 haven't crossed. Same here, rejected. It kept trying to break. Price still could not stay above the 14 SMA. Keep watching. This is below. Where are we? Where is it? This is another one. Oh, nope, can't do that. Sorry. This was another one. This is another one. I go back and I look at all these setups on H4s. Some of them are very repetitive. We line it up with tickers like SPY. You can't go wrong. Let's go through it all. We're gonna get that 1409 is gonna be a rejection area or a breakout. We gotta break outside this candle. So what I'm gonna do, seeing a lot of overhead here. Rejection point, 1403 is key. Gotta break above that, or this gap already filled down here. So we're gonna use this 1362 as a very important level. Breaks that, goes short. Another one, XLE. This thing has been vicious. Just nonstop candle combo. Makes sense for over the weekend. Not sure if it's gonna top out this week or not. That's also, let's see if that's trending inside still. Rejected or close call. About what, 3 cents? 4 cents above this breakout area right here. See what happens. Needs to break out again and continue higher. This is another money maker that we play. Very affordable. short side pays is equally as the long side pays on XLB. So trades with XLU, ED. So another one, H4 inside candle. Been trading in this candle right here, needs to break outside of it. See, when you see candle breakdowns like this inside, and then what happened, broke down, kept breaking down. Play these trends. Another inside candle here. This is crazy. Price has been inside this candle all the way. Stop complicating everything. If you're done, you're done. If you don't trade Fridays, don't trade Fridays. And like I tell you guys, when I go live, I don't like to I don't like to do too much charting, too much tickers. Just giving you some things that can help. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I'm gonna stop.